Army of the Dead is a zombie heist film. It combines elements of horror, action, and the heist genre. It's a work of fiction, but it has a lot of its own rules. I felt like a lot of it was unrealistic and often exaggerated. Here are a few of the things that I thought were pretty unrealistic. The zombies in the movie have a lot of superhuman abilities. They don't show how these zombies evolved or where they came from. They just show that some of them have abilities that normal zombies don't. While this is unique, without explaining the origin, it really makes you wonder why, and it leads you to look at certain actions that the zombies make and question them. The heist is the heart of the movie. It involves getting the whole group together, breaking into Las Vegas, stealing money from a casino vault.
That was the plan. Not a great plan.
The complexity and audacity of the plan, combined with the ease in which the team executes it, is very unrealistic. They're going to break into a heavily infested area full of zombies that's supposed to be destroyed in a few days' time in an effort to remove some cash and fly out in a helicopter that is largely defunct. The team consists of hardened zombie survivors, individuals that were here during the first outbreak and have no reason to go back, aside from money.
Hello, I like money.
This group of survivors saw the carnage firsthand, and somehow that makes them the perfect choice to go into this environment. Throughout the movie, several of the characters find themselves in seemingly impossible situations, but somehow manage to survive. This could be attributed to their exceptional skills or luck, but it still comes across as rather unbelievable. You have a group of hardened survivors that chose automatic rifles and no body armor to go through this city. I assume their thought process here was they were going to move quickly and light and not worry about having excess protection from these zombies. But just looking over the group, there is so much exposed flesh, it's not even funny. When you look at this group's firepower, there are no suppressors. Nobody cared about how much noise they were making. There's even a guy with a partner saw that runs around cutting zombies apart. It's as if they wanted to draw all of Las Vegas to them as they went through the city streets. The billionaire that put everybody up to this wants them to go into the city to retrieve cash that's in a vault. I refuse to believe that he couldn't grease the right palms to make a military intervention, land on the roof of his building, and clear it one floor at a time. There's also a forced plot point about Batista's daughter wanting to go into the city to save her friend. At no point should anyone enter the zone, for any reason, particularly if they lack the skills to survive. The billionaire would have contacted me and asked me to go into this city to retrieve his cash. I would have gone about things very differently. First, I would have said no. There's no amount of money that would have me go into such a heavily infested area. Second, the fact that there's only a 3-day window before they actually need to deploy on this mission would also rule it out. I would want to work with a team for a long time before this and ensure that I was in shape. They show these people, and they all seem to be in good shape, but I would want to ensure that my cardio is up to the task of sprinting across open roads trying to avoid a horde of the undead. Third, I would have used a covert operation. I understand that there's a plot point about not flying into the city because it's a restricted fly zone. I accept that we couldn't have flown in, but that doesn't mean we had to jump the wall and walk straight into the front door. Obviously, there are intelligent zombies. Obviously, there's more going on than just an undead horde. I would have done recon on the situation to ensure that I understood exactly what we were going for and how we would get there. A simple armored vehicle would get you to the front, no problem. I understand that there's a thick horde, and that movies often portray these vehicles becoming overrun or toppled, There's a way to outfit a vehicle so it would just simply move the zombies to the left or the right, not crushing them under the tires, allowing you to get closer to the building without having to be on foot. The fifth thing that I would have done differently is picked my own team. Batista was largely able to choose everyone that he wanted, except for one person that was forced on him. I would never allow this. From the beginning, you could tell this guy had his own agenda, and he would sacrifice the entire team to accomplish it. Really, the only person that was safe was the helicopter pilot. The sixth thing I would do differently is personal protective equipment. I would have been wearing some sort of body armor. This movie takes place in the not too distant future. There would definitely be armor created that would be bite-proof and lightweight. You don't need it to be bulletproof. You need it so you aren't torn apart by a horde of the undead. Simply inserting braided cable into sleeves would make sure that you aren't munched on. I would never go into this scenario with that much exposed skin, knowing that one scratch or bite could turn you. The last thing I want to discuss is the weapons. I mentioned earlier about how no one chose to bring a suppressor on this trip. Every single person just went with the weapon that they chose, knowing that they would make a terrible amount of noise. Suppressing your weapon would reduce the amount of noise you make. This would make it a lot easier to move from floor to floor or room to room without drawing additional attention. On top of that, all the noise from the gunfire would hurt your hearing and distract you during the fight. There's little combat with melee weapons in this as well. The zombies are shown to be extra fast, extra smart, and extra strong. During a fight scene with Batista, one zombie is even dodging his blows as if it's retained all of its martial arts ability before it was turned. This is that far-fetched aspect that starts to get a little questionable in this movie. I would use a zombie spike or another blade that I was familiar with to ensure that hand-to-hand combat wasn't a challenge. In the end, I would ensure I had a custom loadout that I was very comfortable with. I would not bring a partner saw or any other weapon that would rely on fuel or external sources to function. In the end, I enjoyed watching this movie. It had some camp, it had some action, it had some over-the-top scenes. I enjoyed a lot of the in-your-face slaughter that took place. However, the realism was not there. It was not apparent. That really takes it away from me. If you would have done anything differently, let me know in a comment below. This is the Zombie Guide, signing out.